Hey guys, this is Preston Cohn, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about the online fundraising event that actually can work for you and for your organization. And in fact, has raised over $100,000 for one of our nonprofit clients in this space using this exact same model. And I'm not going to try to convince you to do anything that you don't want to do. If you want to do this, great. If you don't want to do it, no problem. But I do want to provide you with a solution because I've seen so many people in Facebook groups and in pages saying, "Hey, we're canceling our nonprofit event or our fundraiser," because they're not able to understand or maybe think through the processes and the tools that are available for nonprofits right now that can help them take their event, their in-person event, and put it online. And so we're going to tell you exactly how we did this for this non-client that generated $100,000. In fact, I think we're at 150, maybe $130,000 at this point in donations because the cool thing, one of the benefits of this doing it online is it stays online. It's still available for people to watch and participate in and continue to donate to us. And so, very, very exciting information to share with you today. But let me take a step back. My name's Preston Cohn, and I work with a company called Donor Curve. And in fact, my wife and I founded Cone Creatives, which is a for profit business working with for profits, and then Donor Curve, working with nonprofits that need help with Facebook ads, that need help with Google search, that need help with building websites. We really focus on nonprofits because we've found the most fulfillment working with nonprofits, and we get the most excited working with nonprofits because we feel like we're actually able to make a difference, and it kind of amplify your work. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about how that works. We're going to talk about the tools that we use to build this out. In fact, if you stay till the end, I'm going to be able to give you templates of everything that we've created, and that's going to be the email series, the seven email series that we created for before the event. It's going to give you the seven email series that goes for after the event. It's going to include the landing page that we designed that generated the funds. It's going to include the Facebook ads, and it's going to include all of the strategy that we've used in terms of creating the Facebook event page, how to create it, and all of that. So please stick with us. You'll learn all of this and more in this video, and you'll be able to customize this and ask us questions. This is a live stream, so if you want to talk to us later, please do, or input your question now, and we'll try to respond to you, my team and I, as we can. We're, of course, across the country right now at our own locations because at this point, not a lot of traveling is happening. And this is the very reason that we want to help you learn how to do an online event. I've seen so many people say they're canceling it, and it's a shame because there is another opportunity for you. You are able to use something like this to promote your event. In fact, get more eyes on your event than you would have ever had before. In this event specifically that we're going to talk about, we had over 9 times the amount of people that have watched the online event than would have come in person. And not only that, since then, we've had several more times people have continued to watch it. And that is the beauty of doing an online event like this. So I'm very excited to talk to you about it. I've had a lot of experience raising hundreds of millions of dollars and also working with political campaigns, working with nonprofits, working with businesses, working with a bunch of people across the spectrum. But right now, really working with nonprofits because we've had so much success and we feel like we're making the most impact here. So it's a trying time. It's an interesting time. And it's a time where we should share information together. There's going to be no pressure for you to do anything with us. If you want to do something with us, you're welcome to, but that's only if it fits, right? If not, I want you to do what's best for you and your organization. Take this information and build it out yourself. I would love for you to do that, and I would love to see the testimonies and the case studies of just saying, "Hey, thank you, this worked," right? Like, in fact, don't even thank me. Just do it and make it work for yourself, and then tell me how it performed. I'd love to hear it. So today I'm also going to introduce a couple of my teammates. So first we'll start off with my wife, Laura Rebecca. She's going to talk a little bit about Facebook, how to run a Facebook event, how to create the posts, how to design them, what to do, and how to manage everything from start to finish for this project. And she's going to talk a little bit about all of that here in just a minute and give you some clear-cut examples and show you how to do this. Then I got Chloe. She is fantastic. She is a copywriter and extraordinary, really, at what she does here. And so she's going to talk a little bit about how to write these emails, how to motivate people to action, what to write in a Facebook ad, what to write in a Facebook post, and how exactly does this work for different organizations? Is there a way forward for yours? I think there is, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about that as well, and landing page copy as well. So everything from start to finish on this will be taught and explained to you here shortly. Then we're also going to have a guy named Kyle come on and talk to you a little bit about the IT and the tools required to do this. It's not a lot. Don't feel like it's going to be super complicated, but there are some things to master and to learn in terms of being able to run this on Facebook, on YouTube, and on your own landing page without hassle, without headaches, and to live stream that all at one time so you can have more eyes on it and please your sponsors and keep them happy, because a good sponsor is a good thing. And we want to talk to you a little bit about why sponsors will love this idea. So now I'm going to pass it off to the team. They're going to talk to you a little bit about it. But for now, don't forget to stick around towards the end where we are going to give you these examples. We are going to give you these templates, and you're going to have that available to you to be able to use. So stick around. We'll talk to you more soon. For now, here's Laura Rebecca.
Everyone, this is Laura Becca, and I am going to walk you through a couple different parts that I had that I was involved in for this event for a nonprofit. And I know everybody's scared, and I know everybody's a little concerned, obviously, because these spring months are definitely when most nonprofits have their fundraiser. It's a big deal. It generally provides them funding for the rest of the year, other than smaller donation options and smaller other little giving things. But we understand that this is kind of your whole budget, and we want to make sure that we do everything we can to kind of help you get through this really unusual time and kind of scary and strange time that we're going through. So I was the one who was created the events. I was the one who kind of put together resources for the event itself. So what I'm going to walk you through step by step is how to create an event in Facebook, how to create the art for the event, how to create the copy, kind of all that stuff. Well, the copies kind of be with the copywriter, but I'm going to kind of walk you through, and I'm going to create an event for this specific webinar on our Facebook page. And I'm really trying to do it slowly, and so y'all can see exactly what I'm doing and how you can do it yourself. We are here to provide support. We're here to help. The event that we did help with, we work with lots of nonprofits because it's something that means a lot to us, and we feel better about doing work for people who are doing work for other different projects and different exciting things that they're involved in and things they're passionate about. So we really enjoy working with nonprofits. So they had one, and they were planning on still going through with the live event, but their venue canceled on them. And so he was really upset. He was like, I don't know what we're going to do. This is our big event, and we raised a ton of money for this, and we need it for the next couple months. So we decided to do a live event, and it was amazing and a lot of fun to do. So I'm just going to walk you through, and I'm facing a different monitor, but follow along on screen, and we're going to have fun doing it. So we're going to go into Facebook. Everybody, for the most part, any kind of events is going to have Facebooks, and that's great. So I'm going to go straight to my business. We have multiple. This is just going to be one of them. And so we're going to go ahead and go to events. And you are literally just going to click create event. And it's going to ask you a couple different questions, right? So you're going to have your event name, which is you're going to try and make it as clear as possible. You're going to have fun with it. People who are going to see what y'all are posting, it's important. It's helpful. You want to engage with your audience that you already have on Facebook, which is nice. And then you're going to also be sharing this through email series. We had one nonprofit, they actually gave this event to each of their board members, and their board members sent it out to each of their list. So it just depends. Sometimes nonprofits have huge lists that we're able to send it out to. Sometimes it's small list, but you can work with whatever you've got, especially depending on what your budget is. So the location is not going to become creatives. You're going to put home sweet home. You can be more specific. I know a couple people were really confused with home sweet home, what that meant. So they actually asked questions when I put home sweet home. So I changed it to in your own home. So it depends on, who you're working with and all that stuff. Now, this is change photo video. Yes, you're going to want to do this, and I'm going to walk you through step by step on how. So there is a really cool tool out there called Canva that is free. Yay for free. And we are going to create a Facebook event post. So all you have to do is type in Facebook event cover. Perfect. So it'll pull up. Now they have a lot of templates. You can go all the way from creating your own basic template to like really looking through these and seeing which one would work for you. So, we can, let's see, what do we think would work for us? Let's just scroll through. I kind of like this one. Okay, so again, basic. This can be the colors you are used to. This can be the colors of your organization. So I'm going to take away the flowers. That's not something that is going to work for me. And I am going to go ahead and put in text. I'm going to add a heading and say, converting Gala into a live event. Now, the nice thing about this is you really have the opportunity and the time to make it anything you kind of want. You don't have to, you can take your time in doing fonts, you can take your time in picking the colors, you can do kind of whatever you want. So we'll do this one, just so that it's really clear that y'all can see what I'm doing. And then this is how you move it. So I'm going to move that up there. I'm going to create this. This needs to be evened. It's kind of, okay. Let's see, it's definitely off. So let's see what we can do. That's why. There we go. Okay. Now, this will be in your own home. And we're going to put a subheading that's going to have the date, which is, I believe, 4/8/20. So weird. Okay. So, you make it how you want it. You add kind of your own style, your own flair. You can upload videos. I'm going to show you kind of how this works. So these are photos that I've uploaded. There's a lot of them just because we have a lot of different clients. But I'm going to pull this because this is my logo for Donor Curve. Easily kind of put it in the center. Not in the center. Put it in the corner. Just so that if anyone sees this, they know that we're the one who's putting it on. This is how this works, and go from there. Now, all you have to do once you've done that, it's super simple. These are free, like I'm saying. So you're going to go ahead and download. PNG is fine. PNG or JPEG is the ones that you're going to need for Facebook event. So you're going to download that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You'll see it coming up here, and it says Green Wedding, which you can rename it. I'm just not going to, just because we're running through a couple different things. And I'm going to add it. And now I have an event. You can reposition it. You can kind of, it's about the size dimensions that it needs to be, but you can always tweak it a little bit. And you can always go back to Canva. If you aren't happy with the result, take more time, take extra time, get somebody to look at it who's a designer. If you have a friend who's a designer, say, hey, would you mind giving me some pointers? During this whole thing, I think the one thing that we can really be blessed to have and to know is that I feel like a lot of people are coming together to help other people. And so this is definitely one of those things that I think is important. And I think giving to nonprofits during this time is something that's still going to be a big deal. You're probably, the majority of your donors aren't going to be hugely impacted by this. So I know a lot of people are saying, don't ask for donations, don't ask for that. But if they're passionate about it, just like you are, they're going to want to keep going on with whatever your mission as a nonprofit is. And I think that it's a great thing to do. So we're going to do this. Now we're going to go ahead and tell people about our event. I would recommend obviously getting a copywriter or someone who's really good at copy to do this. That is not one of my skill sets, which is why we have a copywriter. And so, when you're asking them to get some of this stuff prepared, the copywriter will go over this. But you can say, hey, I need copy for a Facebook event. I need all the email copy, which she's going to go over. I need copy for a couple different things. That'll help them kind of determine how much copy they need for you. This, you're not going to want to have it as long as an email will be. You're going to want it shorter. You're going to want to kind of straight to the point, what you're doing. If you're having a auction, what that'll be, maybe what the items are, or a preview or something like that, that'll just get them engaged. And you do want to make sure that they can comment on your thing. I would personally recommend that you make sure that you approve those posts, which you can do. And I'll show you as I scroll through just kind of how I make sure that people who may not love your nonprofit can't say anything or do anything negative, or someone can't just post their own thing that they're trying to promote at that time, right? You kind of want to make it all about your nonprofit and all about what y'all are doing for the community. So we're going to select the category. Well, it's a cause. It's going to occur once, which is great. It's going to be, I think it's the 8th, and I think we are having it at not 2 a.m. That would be weird, but I think 2 p.m. I could be wrong, so don't check me on that. Now, if you have other organizations that you've partnered with before, or you have other people that are going to be co-hosting it with you from their home, go ahead and put it in. It just kind of pushes the reach farther. So I'm going to go ahead and make my husband, who you probably have already heard from, on here. And it also gives them the opportunity, if you don't feel good or you have a headache or something like that, they can go in and kind of mess around with it if they need to. So I've asked him, and it says pending. He has to accept it, which is another thing. So you can add a schedule. You can literally put your agenda. If you already have one printed out for a live event and now you're switching it, you can put the agenda here. You can just kind of do the exact same thing. That's what we're recommending. We're talking about educating people on what you've done. We're educating people on what you're planning to do with the money that you get, and all that. That's part of it. So add in a schedule where it shows the agenda. Kid friendly, probably not. Volunteer opportunity, absolutely, especially if you're a nonprofit that has a volunteer. Being a volunteer doesn't mean you have to go outside your home. It could be making calls. It could maybe sending emails. It could be so many things. So when I'm saying volunteer opportunity, I'm not saying volunteer opportunity outside your home. So keep that in mind. Now, you can add a ticket link. So if you wanted to make people essentially pay to get to this live event, you could. We didn't for our event because we didn't think if you have a ticket, it'll limit how many people will come, right? So if it's a free event, anyone and their mom can come, right? But if it's a ticket, it's harder to do as well. So just depends on kind of what you're trying to do and what your goals are. So this is what I'm talking about in regards to like post permission. So I would say anyone can post, but posts must be approved by a host or co-host. And then absolutely people can ask questions about your event in Messenger. That's good. You want people to get engaged. You want people to ask questions. You want people to think through this with you. And then you're going to go ahead and publish. And that is, you've created your event. And we're going to wait for this to come up. And I'll just kind of show you what it looks like and how that works. And so they're going to ask you add a location. Depends. If you're a local organization, add a city for sure. If you are a national organization, not that big of a deal. It doesn't have to be in one place. It's not a bad idea to add a location, but it just depends on your preferences. So I'm going to go ahead and click out of that. And then this is my event. Super simple, not complicated. You can do it. Probably the hardest part would be the copy and the design work, but maybe you're really creative and maybe you're really good at writing emails and you're doing good already. So here's your event, and what we would do is we would probably run some ads. If you have an email list, you can also send your entire email list this event, which would be great, and just kind of encourage them to RSVP. So there's that. Now, the day of the event, there was something else that I thought we would need, which I'm very happy I did because we did need it. And this is responses to people watching. So this is kind of what I put together for the volunteers that were actively responding to people who were reaching out to us during the event. If they had a specific question, if they wanted to know where to give, if they wanted to know where the website was, this kind of helped them with that, right? This is obviously very basic. We had a lot more, but I took them out because it was specifically for that organization. But you're just going to try and put everything that you think might be asked by someone in the event, and you're essentially going to put it all together so that if a volunteer is helping you respond to people, they're able to easily go grab this and share it. So they don't have to search for the website. They don't have to search for the donation page. All of this is going to be really simple and easy to do. So we're going to really recommend doing this and sending it to all your volunteers. And that's kind of honestly my part of this event and this kind of whole thing. The copywriter is going to really give you some value. She's phenomenal. She helps us with a lot of different events and a lot of different organizations. So I'm excited to introduce Chloe. She is going to be walking you through this, walking you through the emails that you send before and the ones after. And I will say it is important to send emails before and after. It kind of closes the deal. It makes it a game changer, and it's the right way to do it. So I'm looking forward to talking to y'all and chatting with you. And if you have any questions, drop them down below and we'll be responding. Thanks.
Hey folks, my name is Chloe Nagnos. I am the lead copywriter and a digital strategist for Cone Creative's Donor Curve. I'm also the founder and principal of Argo Strategy based here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and wanted to kind of go through quickly and explain the copywriting process, my three big tips and tricks that I use when I write copy for emails, for whether that's for fundraising, getting people to sign petitions, any type of warm-up email, essentially, basically everything that's important that you know for your organization to really make a big difference and to keep your audience engaged with whatever it is that you have going on. And then two, I'm going to go through and share exactly the email copy that I wrote for this online event. There's 7 emails. It may seem like a lot, but it's important that I go through and kind of explain each one individually. So first thing I'm going to do is give kind of my 3 no-nos when it comes to writing email copy. So the first thing is to keep your email copy as short and as simple as possible. Anytime that you get, and I'm sure a lot of you folks, if you've ever gotten a really long email or a really long letter or direct mail piece from maybe a political candidate or some type of nonprofit or some organization, you're probably not going to read through all of it and you're only going to skim, right? So having really long, overly complicated copy is a big no-no. I suggest keeping any email or direct mail piece down to 1 page, whether that's in a Google Doc, in a Word doc. Ultimately, anything longer than 1 page is going to be too long and you're not going to have your reader's full attention. So first thing, keep it simple, stupid. Short and as simple as possible is always going to just work better in the long run. Second, you want a really clear call to action in each of your emails. or a CTA. You'll see me use the term kind of interchangeably when I'm going through and explaining each email. But a call to action is taking your reader and kind of holding their hand through your email and saying, okay, this is what I want you to do next, whether that's going to our website, signing up on Facebook, going to our Facebook page, or giving a donation. You want to keep it to 2 call to actions per email. Usually, generally, you really only want to keep it to 1. So I'll kind of give examples through each email and show you where, okay, if you want to have your people go to the Facebook event or have them go to your landing page that shows where your event is, that's a great first call to action. The second call to action should be sharing it, maybe giving a donation. But anytime you have more than 3 call to actions, you're going to really confuse your audience, and they're not going to really understand what you want them to do. And that kind of goes back to really long emails or really long direct mail pieces that have multiple call to actions in them. I get a lot of emails that have 4 or more, believe it or not, call to actions. It's like, okay, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to donate? Do you want me to sign up? Do you want me to follow you on Facebook? It's just a lot, right? So as short and as simple as you can keep it, the better off you're going to be. So that's number 2. My third point when you're writing emails as a nonprofit is to not be afraid to ask for money. And also, don't be afraid to list a specific amount. I can't tell you the number of times that I'll get an email from an organization, maybe someone running from office or a charity in my community that says that, oh, well, your donation is going to make a difference. Okay, that's great, but how much do you want me to donate? What's the goal? If you just send me a donation link that has, no suggestion, you're not going to necessarily know what to do. So anytime you are trying to raise money online, you want to be as direct and pointed as possible. If you say, okay, here's 3 options, give us 10, 20, or $50, surprisingly, most people are going to give somewhere in that range because you told them exactly what to do. Even in my own small scholarship program that I run here in Indianapolis, we're very small. We don't have a giant fundraising team, but anytime that I've sent an email to a friend or to a business, I've always said, hey, we're trying to raise $1,000, $2,000 for our scholarship fund. Can you give us a donation of $25, $50, or even $100? And you would be surprised the number of people, friends, family, just people in my community who've said, oh, I can do better than $100. Here's $125 or here's $150. So that's a really simple trick and tool that you can use in your email fundraising copy so that people, when they read it, they're like, oh, well, $20, that's not a lot. Let me help you with 100. It's always a good idea to have that in there so that the people who can go above and beyond will definitely do that. So to just kind of sum it up, 1, keep it short, keep it simple. 2, have a really clear call to action or CTA in your email fundraising copy. And 3, don't be afraid to ask for money or to even list out specific amounts so that the reader knows where to go and what you're doing. So with that being said, I'm going to walk you through the first email sequence that I wrote for this event. And this is for people who were attending this gala, like Preston had mentioned, and these are people who are already donors. So you'll notice here that the copy is a little bit more direct. It's a little bit more personal because these people are already supporters of this organization. So we're not trying to get them in the door, right? Like they already support this organization. They already support the cause. We're trying to get them to take it a step further, right? So if you go ahead and look here, this is the first email that I wrote for attendees and donors. It's very, very important to have these 3 key pieces of information up here. Preview copy in your email, a subject line, and then the sender, who's actually sending the email. So for example, this was the subject line, please join us. And then the preview copy is what comes after your subject line in your inbox, right? It's always very important to have preview copy, because if you just have a subject line, a lot of donors or even prospects are going to look at that and say, please join us. Okay, please join us for what, right? You want to make it as tantalizing and as exciting as possible so that people click on your email, open it, and actually read it. So I kind of have a little teaser here. It says a conversion, not a cancellation. It's like, what's that? That piques my interest, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And then second, you always want to make sure that your sender, whoever is sending the email, is someone from your organization, and it is the same person each time. One thing that's this is like the really techie part of email, but if you have an inbox that doesn't recognize who your sender is each time, that will sometimes flag spam folders or whatever those filters are in your email inbox and put them into spam, right? So you want to make sure that every single time you're sending an email, it's from the same person so that your emails don't end up in spam. So with that being said, I know that's a lot of information, but it's important to keep in mind so that your donors, your potential prospects, your volunteers, your supporters are opening these emails and that they're not just moving them to the trash. So that's kind of step one. Step two is having an organization logo up at the very top that matches every single link that you're going to put in this email. So for example, let's say that, and I don't have an example of the link right now, but the link that you want to go ahead and put in all of these spots is the link to the sign up for your event. So you'll have your organization logo up here so people can clearly see what's going on. And then it'll be the same link throughout this email. So for example, starting off, you want to have a first name replacement or whatever that person's first name is. This is just kind of the email code that triggers pulling in a first name onto your list. So you're making it very personal, right? You don't want to start off with something like friend or supporter. Having the first name of the person that you're sending this to in every single email is going to, one, make that person feel like you're actually taking the time to address them. And two, you're making it more personal so that they feel compelled and they feel motivated to support you and to support your cause. So this is a kind of a technical side, adding the first name replacement in. If you have someone on your team that can help you with this part in your email campaigns, that's great. If not, this is something that I can show you how to do later, or Preston or Laura or Rebecca can show you how to do. I know it seems like a lot of information, but this is what we do, this is what I do, and this is what helped us raise more than $100,000 off of this event. So again, it's the more detailed and the more personal that you can be, the better. So first off, this email, I said here, due to the coronavirus pandemic, we received notification yesterday that our on-site gala is canceled. However, that means we're throwing a conversion party instead. So get straight to the point. Tell your person what's going on, and then go ahead here, the second line, and say, hey, we're converting to an all online event from whatever your date, whatever your time is, and include the link so that people can go ahead and sign up if they want to. So second line is, we still have our full program. It's an exciting opportunity for you to learn more about the work of whatever your organization is. Then this next line will have an important announcement at the end of the live stream, so we hope that you'll all watch all the way through, just giving a little more information. And then here is that second call to action. So this first one up here is saying, hey, we're converting at this date, time, you're giving, and then this is the really strong call to action at the end. That's, again, you're holding the hand of the person that's reading this email and you're saying, please register on the Facebook page so you can join us online on whatever the date and time is and share with your friends and family. Thank you. And then you want it, like, let's say that this is from the executive director. So John Smith, he's the executive director of Feed the Children, Save the Whales, whatever your organization is. It's important that your person on your email list knows who's sending this email, what their position is, why they're important, and what the organization is again. It's that simple. So again, this is essentially all of the information that you need to have, and you're going to copy and paste it basically for each email. So not necessarily the copy that's in the middle, but especially the preview, subject line, sender, and you'll change it up just a little bit each time. And you'll do the same for your second email. So again, this is for attendees and donors, right? So the preview is, will we see you there? It's a conversion. Again, you're trying to tease them, trying to get them to open your email because you want them to sign up if they haven't already. So again, we've got organization logo and the link. And then you're reminding them again that, hey, we're sad that our gala was canceled, but we're grateful for the technology that's going to bring us together online. Join us, date, time for our full program, link. And then you want to say why these people should join you. So for example, I wrote here, this is an exciting opportunity for you to learn more about the work of whatever your organization is. And then you want to give them a little bit of a preview of what they can expect if you come to your event. So our keynote speaker is, give them the name, the position, and we've got a lot of news to share about recent work, updates, information about your group in the news, whatever it is that you've got going on that you're going to tell your donors, tell your supporters, your prospects about. That's what you want to put in this email. So then again, another strong call to action. We can't wait for you to join us on date and time, and then put the registration link. Again, that thank you from whoever it is that's sending the email. And then here's a little PS that was featured in the last email, but it says, don't forget to register on the Facebook event. Share it with your friends and family. We'll be making a special announcement at the end of the online program too. You can't miss it. So again, saying, hey, we want you to join. This is what you're going to learn. And then make sure you watch it all the way through because there's a special announcement and we want to make sure that you see it. So you're, again, walking this person through and giving them all of the important information that they need. So this is the last email in this sequence. And this is a little bit shorter than the last couple of than the last two emails, but it's really telling them that, hey, we're going to tell you again, but we want you to know that this is crucial. Right here, it's in the preview. And the subject line, you can't miss it. So again, you're trying to write whatever you can to get your person on your list to open this email. I can't stress enough how important it is that you have really compelling preview copy and really compelling subject lines too. So first name, again, hey, we were so looking forward to seeing you in person for our event, but moving to an online event is crucial for our work. No, I don't like that. Let's say to continue our work. And you can get specific here too. Like don't feel like you have to use exactly what I wrote. You can even put a statement here too. Really whatever you want. But you're telling people that, we're pivoting to an online event because our work's important and we want to continue it. And that's why we need your support. So then you're going to go into this, again, call to action. If you haven't already, register for our event on Facebook on date, time, and you go ahead and give that link. Then you're going to remind them like, hey, we don't just want you to sign up. You can invite your family, your friends, your colleagues. Really, the more the merrier. We're going to be making a special announcement at the end of the live stream, so watch it to the end. You really don't want to miss this. Thank you, name, position, organization. Do you see how I used essentially all the same organization information over and over again, but essentially I used it in different ways and I wrote it in different ways and I organized it in different ways, right? That's what you want to do in this first email sequence for your attendees, for your donors, to basically say, hey, look, this is important. This is why you should join us. Here you go. So that's the first three emails. That's your entire sequence. Really short. Going back to the 3 tips that I had again, you're keeping it short. You're having a clear call to action. And then now we're going to get into kind of the money part. But this is, let me see here. Yeah, so this is the email sequence that you're going to for people who've signed your petition. So this organization had an online event, or they had an in-person event, that ended up getting canceled. But then they have this other email list for all of these people who might not have been able to go to their in-person event, but they signed their petition. There's a ton of people on this email list. And since it's a virtual event, anyone in the US, Canada, UK, whomever can join, they wanted to make sure that they reached out to these folks too. So this is another email sequence that's a little less personal, that's a little more informative, because these people have already signed a petition. They already know about the organization. Maybe they've never attended an event because they're not local. Maybe they've never donated. Maybe they haven't had a chance. But this is just another way to kind of get these people who are already in your camp, who are already kind of like on the fringes of supporting you, to one, join your online event so they can learn more about what you're doing, but two, trying to get them to become a donor. So you're converting them from a supporter into a donor, and I'll show that in the next email sequence that I have. But this is the first email sequence for these petition signers so that they will join your online event. So for example, here I've got "You're invited, please join us" as the preview and subject line copy. And here's where you just get right into it, right in the very first sentence. Don't beat around the bush. Be as clear and as simple as possible. We're excited to invite you to our online event, whatever your event name is, brought to you by our organization. We appreciate your signature. So again, I'm referring here to their signature on their petition, and impact is made on the blank, whatever that is: community, state, organization. Sorry, I'm getting text messages. So you're going to go on and you're going to say, this program will include vital information about our work at your organization, its impact on blank. We'll also have important updates about our work in the news and with whatever else. This is imperative here, and I'll tell you why, guys. You really want to make sure that what the mission statement is of your organization, whatever your group, you're reinstating it and you're resharing it so that people remember and think, oh yeah, I remember I signed that petition to save the whales, feed the children, whatever it is. You're reminding them about your work and why it's important. So that's very important to have that at least in the first couple of lines so that you trigger that memory. Because maybe people who've signed your petition or on your email list, maybe they don't remember, or maybe they are not, maybe they're just not people that read a lot of the work that you put out there, right? So again, here's a very clear call to date, time, register on our Facebook event page, and then you're going to have the link. Then you want to give a very, very brief program outline, okay? And I say brief because a lot of times I'll get event emails and the copy's like this long. And it's like, I don't want to read through all of that. Just give me the quick rundown of what's going on. So for example, maybe you're going to have remarks from your keynote speaker, updates about our work, and you want to list who's actually giving like these updates. So maybe your organization, maybe folks are going to hear from the executive director. Okay, cool. 2020 goals and outreach plan, director of development. I would keep it to 3 to 4 points. Any more than that, people are going to get bored. And remember, we want to keep it down to 1 page as much as possible. But sounds a little bit long, like it's almost at 1 page. Any more than this is a snooze, and you really don't want to make it any longer than you have to. So we'll be reminding them that and then you want to hone in and drive in how critical it is that people join your event. So I don't know what your organization is, but let's say that you're, saving the whales or saving like redwood trees or something, like it's animal protection, or saving the tigers. Like if you've watched Tiger King, like it's important. This is critical for saving the tigers. Whatever it is that your mission is, that's why you want to put it down here. And we need more than ever, or we need, for example, you could say we need, if I could spell, your support now more than ever. Okay. So the last call to action, please also invite your friends and family to join us on date, time. This is going to start to look very familiar. Name, position, organization. Okay. So that's your first email in this sequence for anyone that you've got on your email list. Now we're going to go into our second email. And this is where it gets a little bit more pointed and a little bit more important. I don't want to say desperate because you never want to come off that you're desperate. You always want to be like right on that cusp, right? Like, this is what's going on. This is why we need you. And you're telling a story, kind of like what Preston had mentioned earlier. So you want to kind of drill in that these people who've signed your petition or who are on your email list are big supporters, right? You wouldn't sign a petition or put your name on something if you didn't support the cause. So you want to remind people of that. Then this preview line, I think this is very important, very compelling copy. You want to say, we need your virtual support. It's not really enough to say that we need your support. You want to give an adjective here that says like, hey, you can support us virtually. You don't have to be supporting us in person, because obviously because of coronavirus, you can't really do that right now. So to remind people that you can support them virtually is another step that you can take to get them to click on your email, to open it, to read it, and to hopefully join your event. So this should look a little familiar. So you're going to come down here, and you're going to say, as a signer of whatever name is, you're one of our most important supporters, and we need your virtual support on date or time. If your organization doesn't have a petition that's like widely known or that's spread around on the internet, you can easily say, as a supporter of this organization, or a volunteer, or if you've been a past volunteer, you can really take this line and make it your own. It doesn't have to be a petition, but for this organization, that's what this email sequence was for. So you're going to want to tell people, again, what you're going to learn. So you're going to learn about our life-saving work or our life-changing work for whatever the organization is during this event, along with updates about our work and more. So I just put this in here as a placeholder, updates about our mission, and more. You can really get into whatever it is that your organization is doing, describe it here in a sentence, maybe like 2 sentences or less. You don't want to really drill on, because it's important that you get to this boom call to action. We're hosting name, whatever the name of the event is, and it's an online event for our supporters from coast to coast, and we hope you'll join us. So I'm in this coast to coast information because, again, like if we scroll up here to where it says virtual support, you want to drive in the point that you don't have to be local to support us. In this time of a pandemic, you really want to make sure that your supporters know you don't have to be local to support. You don't have to be local to care, to donate, to put their name on a petition. So you really want to drive in that, hey, no matter where you are, no matter what state you live in, even if you're in like Canada or in a different country than the US, you can still support us and you can still join us. And that's really important. So again, the same kind of sentence. We'll have a special announcement at the end of the live stream. Tune in, you can learn more, share this for our amazing update, invite your friends and family. Again, you've got another call to action here. See you soon. Simple. So this is the last email in the sequence, just saying, hey, we can't wait to see you. Mark your calendar if these folks haven't already. And here I am in this last sentence, in this last email, this first sentence. You're really driving in the point. I wanted to be sure you had our online event on your calendar for date/time. Okay, you're making it very clear. You're not beating around the bush. You're getting exactly to the point. And in this call to action, your support is vital to our work at your organization name. You'll be the first to know about updates in our movement during this event. Our online program includes, again, remind them what they're going to see with this online event. Remarks from keynote speaker. Again, keep it to 3 to 4 points. You don't want to make it that long. And then, register on our Facebook friends, invite family and friends. Here's the other thing too, especially for donors who are older, maybe they don't have Facebook, but they'll have, we can provide another viewing option for them. Or maybe that's something your organization can do as well. If you're using a program like Zoom or Loom or any type of other camera work really, and that's something that Kyle and Preston and Laura can get into. I think it's important to remind folks that just because you don't have Facebook doesn't mean that you can't watch it. So just because I know a lot of times older donors might get nervous, like, oh, well, I don't have a Facebook. That's fine. There's other viewing options too. So maybe just drop that reminder in there. And then just a really quick reminder here, while the coronavirus has canceled our in-person event, you can help us further our mission with blank. Save the whales, save the pandas, save the tigers, whatever. And you can even drop a donate link down here and say, hey, donate today. Just keep it really brief. I know I talked about giving a direct amount of money, but just as kind of like a teaser, I added this in here just to see if anything would come of it. And then you've got a thank you, name, position, organization. Again, same thing over and over again. Now, each email sequence to get a reminder. So remember we had in that first email sequence of 3 emails, that was for people who were donors or attendees for the in-person gala, but it got canceled. So you've got those people there, and then you've got the other sequence for people who signed your petition, or maybe they're on your email list, but they weren't necessarily going to that event, but they can join your online event, right? So those people in each sequence are going to get this last email. So it's just a reminder. And this you want to pull, or you want to send it out maybe an hour. Yeah, we did an hour. So here it says 1 hour. You can do 1 hour, you can do 2 hours, whatever you're most comfortable with. But this is short, like super short. It's only 3 sentences. It's almost time. Don't forget, we're hosting our full program in 1 hour on Facebook. You can join us, get comfortable, invite your friends. See you soon. Simple. Really, really simple. It doesn't need to be any longer than that. You don't want to make it any more complicated than that. That's it. So this is the part that's kind of down to that last point that I had about not being afraid to ask for money. This is where you're going to make very pointed asks and very direct asks for money. So these are the sequences of emails that you want to send after your event has already been done. So again, there's 2 sequences because we had the group of people who are attendees or donors and then people who signed a petition. So let's get down to it. So this is where you get a little bit more direct, and you're going to say in this subject line, hey, we're not stopping now if the world is. And I've got that in parentheses because I wanted to make this email very pointed and to tell donors and people who support this organization that even though the coronavirus has stopped a lot of in-person events, that doesn't mean that our work stops. And I get into that in this copy. So very simple. I hope you were able to join us for our event, whatever your event name is. Oops, add a period there. Participants had the chance to hear from our esteemed speakers and get updates about our work. Again, you type in whatever it is that's important to your organization or whatever it is that your organization does. So remember when I said that some older donors they may not have Facebook or they want a different viewing option? Well, this is where you drop it in. You couldn't join us, no worries. We have a recording that you can watch and share with friends and family here, and you can just drop that link. So for example, if maybe someone had something else going on, they couldn't join, or if your organization wants to use this recording as a fundraising tool, once a quarter or something like that, it's a really good piece of content to have because you can always go back to it or send it out to other donors, volunteers, whatever later on. So again, right now, harder than ever to show, I put it in all caps, but tell people why your mission is important. Tell people why it's important to feed the children, save the tigers, save the environment, whatever it is that your organization does. Explain why your mission's important and why it matters. Okay, so you want to do that there. And here, actually, I don't want to underline this because this. So this is an important point. We raised, and you want to tell attendees and donors, hey, we raised this amount of money, so $90,250 of our $350,000 goal from this event, and saw 124 small dollar donations pour in. That's a pretty compelling stat to give some of your best or highest donating supporters so that they know, hey, this is our life-saving work, our life-changing work, whatever it is that you do. But then you want to tell these people who are probably apt to donate a lot of money that, again, look here, our work doesn't stop here. And now you're asking them for another donation. So these figures are kind of high, but you got to keep your audience in mind. So I wouldn't necessarily tell people who have never gone to an event or who've never, done anything other than sign a petition. I wouldn't ask them for their most generous gift of $50, $100, $200, or even $350. That's a little too much. But because these people that you're sending this email to have probably already given this type of donation or maybe even more, I think that this is okay. So you want to ask for $50, $100, $200, or even $350, whatever you think is appropriate for your organization. And then you want to tell them why it's going to help further your mission, right? So again, you're going to kind of sum up here. During these unprecedented times, we are still moving forward to educate and share our vision and then put in whatever the group of people in your movement, your supporters, who they are, put that in here, going into the 2020s and beyond. And then a reminder, even though it feels like the rest of the world is shutting down, we can't stop fighting for hungry children, the tigers, the pandas, the environment, whatever it is that's positively affected by your organization. So, and this email is a little bit long, but this is important. You always want to have in fundraising your last sentence say, so please consider giving your most generous gift of 50, 100, 200, 350. You want to repeat yourself for the person that's affected by your organization, the environment, whatever it is that you're doing, and then put kind of a timeline to it and say today, or you could even say now in all caps. I don't think that, because again, you're reminding people again why folks are positively affected and why they should give you money. Okay, so that's it. It's kind of a long email, but these are your most important or most generous donors. So you want to give them a quick reminder. So second email, and put in one, whatever your mission is. So for example, I have to go with Tiger King. So let's say your organization wants to save tigers. Like, can you help their habitat? So this is it's a silly example, but about whatever it is that your organization does and remind your donors, hey, can you help us save the tigers? And can you help us save their habitat too? This email, your first line, we had such an incredible response to our online event, whatever it's called. And at a time when there's so much uncertainty, one thing is clear. Movement to, and this is again your mission statement, drop to, save the tigers, save their habitat, is stronger than ever, but we're still X amount away from our initial goal from the event. So for example, I know this event, their goal was 350,000. And when we added everything up, we realized, maybe I'm wrong. 350. Oh, no, I'm not wrong. Okay, so they're this much away from the goal of this event. So based off of this email, we're trying to reach our goal. Can you help us? So they were $253,750 away from their goal for this event. So this is where we come in and say, can you help us achieve this first mission point with a goal of 25, 50, 100, or even $250? And then this is where you summarize, we believe that saving the tigers, for example, is what is truly going to help us save big cats all around the world, or all around Africa or Asia or wherever their natural habitat is. So for example, and then I kind of said that again, but you just want to quickly, very quickly, in one sentence, two sentences, say, this is what we're doing and this is what your contribution will help us achieve. And here's an even better thing to do is add in a 1 to 3, you could even do 4 to 5. I wouldn't do too many, but add a quote. So for example, you could say, I love what Save the Tigers is doing for big cats. I'm just making this up, around the world. But just for example, you can add a quote from one of your supporters. They always need to be positive, of course, but you want to say, hey, like, look at these other people and look what they're saying about our organization, right? Doesn't have to be more than a sentence. And then even Preston and Laura Rebecca can show you on the landing pages where you can have people leave positive messages. So that's going to be helpful and a really good tool to use not only in email fundraising, but on your social media pages, in direct mail pieces, even when you make your year-end review. It's always a great idea to have quotes from your supporters about what your organization's doing and why they love it. So again, that's just an example, but you can really put in whatever your organization does. That last call to action, please help us, mission point, achieve our goal with the donation. Same old. This is the same, and I'm going to kind of wrap this up here, but this is kind of the same email copy. Again, your emails, they kind of like long all the way to like short because you want to get their attention. Here's where we talked about how, okay, there was a match for this organization. So if you say, okay, your donation of X, Y, and Z, end of that email sequence, and it doesn't really look that much different for petition signers, except for the fact, and I'm going to come down here, and all of these emails will be available for you guys afterwards. I just kind of wanted to explain the email sequence for your most active and most generous supporters. But you'll note here that the donations drastically go down, right? So you're not going to send the same email to someone who's just signed a petition and to the same person or a person who has bought a table at a gala, right? So this is where you come in and say, hey, how about a donation of $1, $5, $10, or even $20? This is going back to my point about not being afraid to list out how much money you want and give them kind of an array, right? And you might even, when you send this email, you might have folks who say, oh, I can do a lot better than $20, and they give you $100. Any little bit counts, and that's great. And here's something else too to remember. If you have a petition that you have for your organization, or maybe even the number of like Facebook or Twitter followers, I know that there are a ton of nonprofits out there who have more than like a million nonprofit or more than a million likes on Facebook. You can say something like, if every signer of our petition, or if every person who was on our email list, liked our Facebook page, whatever, donated $1, we'd crush our goal and then impact people, right? So that's a really quick and easy way to remind those positive about another call to action, easy peasy. As long as you're doing it in the same email sequence, that's fine. But just know that you want to keep these donation levels low, depending on who's signed this petition. Yeah, and then again, it's very, very short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 6-sentence email. But it converts, it works. So that's all I have for email copy. The last thing I want to go ahead and describe is the importance. This is a template you can download, you can use yourself. But I can't tell you the number of times that I've seen a Facebook event where I have no idea what the heck is going on. Like, it's just very confusing. I don't understand what the organization is doing. And this copy, I think, solves that problem. So, for example, whatever the name of your event is an online event by your organization to inform our supporters with updates about our important work too. And then this is where you put to advance our mission. And then you want to list out what the different points of your mission statement is, right? Save the tigers, save the rainforest, feed the children, whatever it is that you have going on. We'll have important updates about your work and its impact on whoever. We'll have an important announcement at the end of the live stream, so we hope you'll watch all the way through. And then remember, you're going to put that short list of, or just kind of outline about your program so people know what to do. And then you want to put down here just a really quick summary. Okay, what's the name of your event? Where? It's virtual, right? And then the date and time. And then you want to put a very short little section about your organization. So I think it's always a good idea to remind people what your organization does. So add your mission statement. And then I put down here too, it should be no more than a short paragraph. If you have like 6 paragraphs about your organization, that's way too much. I think if you have anywhere, so a short paragraph to me is anywhere from 4 to 5 sentences. Okay. That's all I have about copywriting, about email, about Facebook copy, what you should do, how you should do it. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can in the comments. And then really, I hope you guys learned a little bit. Reminder that you can go ahead and download this template and use it for your own organization. But I'm going to go ahead and shut up now and pass it on to Preston, who's going to talk about social media ads, why they're important, and how you can use them to not only gain interest in your event, but take donations as well. Thanks so much.
All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed what you've learned so far from Chloe and from Laura Rebecca. And now we're going to talk a little bit about how do Facebook ads work? Why do we use Facebook ads and what should they even look like? And not only that, how do sponsors like and care for this idea, this online event idea, more even than the in-person event that you were going to run before? You're not going to have people, in my opinion, if you do this the right way, cancel. You're not going to have people pull out of their already purchased table, for example. You're going to have more engagement, more interest in this. And so I'm excited to share with you this information. First, let's talk about how this even works. And I've taken my wonderful drawing skills and I have actually created a very, very small information about this online event here. So typically you have your email list or your mailer list that you're going to invite people to your event, not Facebook event, but your actual event. In this situation, it looks very similarly. Now, we've already talked to you a little bit about what the emails look like, why you need to use 7, and how you can write those and what you could say about those. So thank you, Chloe, for that information. We've also talked to you a little bit about how do you create the Facebook event? How do you create and manage those comments? How do you get people to go to that and get excited about it and share with other people? Thank you, Laura Becca, for a wonderful job on that as well. And now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Facebook ad side of things, if I can figure out this camera angle. But first, let me explain how this generally works. You're going to create the audiences that you already have in your email lists. You're going to send them the 7 emails, and they're going to go and they're going to register and they're going to watch at the Facebook event. When that happens, they can register ahead of time and they can watch live at the Facebook event page or on your own Facebook page. Okay? That's one side of things. That's how that side works, which we've kind of already explained and put those pieces together for you. The Facebook ad side of things is a little bit different, right? Now what we're trying to do is we're trying to reach new people that have not seen or heard of us ever before and tell them a little bit about our organization, what we do, and why they should join us. And that's this audience over here. They're going to look the exact same as this audience up here, except they're brand new people. They've never heard of us before. So we do that by targeting people in Facebook Ads Manager. Ads Manager allows us to get demographic targeting. We can know if they like the same things, if they are the same types of people, if they are certain level of income. There's so many different targeting and demographic capabilities of Facebook that allows us to find the right people for you. And it's kind of like, I think I mentioned this before, but it's kind of like throwing out a lure, right? If we're talking about ending world hunger, for example, if that's your organization talks about that, we throw that topic out there to a large audience that's interested in those types of topics. People are going to people are going to respond to that if they care about that topic. If they're interested and they're engaged in that topic, guess what they're going to do? They're going to click, they're going to look to see what you're talking about and what you're doing and see if this is something that they're interested in learning more about. And so once we get that engagement for them, we drive them to the Facebook event. This Facebook event allows them to register again. If they want to watch there, they can watch there. We also drive them to the landing page. If they want to watch on the landing page, they're welcome to do that. It's the same way with this group up here too. Once they've registered on the Facebook page, that just tells us what they're going to do. They can watch it there live if they'd like, or if they want to learn more about us and watch at the same time, they can go to our landing page. And that's another benefit of being able to have that. You don't lose people based on the fact that they don't have YouTube or Facebook. If they want to watch here, they can watch here. And as they've watched and engaged with your live event, then at the same point, they can donate directly on those landing pages or on that Facebook event page. So it's a wonderful way to create and run those. Now, I'm going to actually show you some of these ads and exactly how they look. And so if you bear with me, I will pull up some of these ads and I'll show you exactly what they look like and how we're communicating the messages that we're communicating. And, Chloe's also talked to you a little bit about how to write ad copy that works, how to write, landing page copy that works and motivates people who care about your organization to take action. And that is the goal and the objective for what we're trying to do right now. Look, people care about you. They care about your organization just like you do. They just want to know how to engage and how to participate. And so, the amazing thing about this is, there's a lot that you can do simply and easily with these ads using tools like Canva. You can get on and you can create these ads directly right now. And I'm going to show you exactly what those look like.
Okay, guys, so I got that pulled up. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to create these inside Facebook's Ads Manager, which is where you're going to have the most success for your Facebook campaigns. Don't just go in and boost it. You really need to come in and create these campaigns in Ads Manager because the targeting and the demographics that you're going to get. So right now I'm going to show you how to do this and how we did it exactly the same way for the nonprofit client that raised over $100,000. And so what I did was I created a campaign right here, and this campaign is called, I named it Nonprofit Event. Now, if you click on this blue link, that's the campaign which we just were on. This is the ad set. Now, ad set is where you create the audiences and the people who are going to watch this. So, for example, when I was creating the campaign and the ad sets for the nonprofit client that we're talking about, I created several different audiences. The audience here, or ad set, is the nonprofit category. If I look at this, click edit, you'll see that the targeting that I used to find people for this event and to help you see what we've done is the same thing that I would have done for the nonprofit. I chose nonprofits on Facebook. I chose fundraising coordinator, fundraiser, fundraising manager. I wanted to target the right people to be able to see this event and see if I can help the right people, right? You want to reach the right person because those are the people who are going to want to donate and support your cause. So exactly the same thing. Now, what I would also do if I had this, which I didn't have this for this event, but for the other event, what I did have was was called a custom audience. So I would have built another audience like this. And what a custom audience is essentially your email list. Now, the cool thing about Facebook is you can upload your email list into the Facebook ecosystem and use that to target those exact people with an ad. Now, sometimes people don't see your emails. I mean, on a good email, you're going to get 40 or 50% maybe open rate. That means half of the people that you send to are not seeing what you're sending at all. And so what I'll do is I'll upload that list into Facebook and I'll be able to target those people with additional resources to show them exactly how, additional ways to show them exactly how and why they should engage with our event. So you'll scroll down, you'll come down to this custom audience section, and you'll be able to create a new audience. Create a new audience, and you can see custom audience. When I click on that button, it asks me some questions, and it's a relatively straightforward process. You're going to click customer list. You're going to upload a list, and in fact, you can download a template of how that looks. It's a CSV file, and you're going to click next. No, I don't have any values. That means if you had like donor values, for example, maybe you do. Maybe you have donor values in a list that could show you this donor has given $100 over their lifetime. If so, you can include another column that says these people basically are more valuable than people who have given less money for our organization. And in that case, you'll be able to have better opportunity to reach the better quality folks. So you might have that, you might not. If you do, great. If not, don't worry about it. Now you'll be able to upload that file, and you'll simply grab the file that you want, upload that into here, and name it. Typically what I'll name is the descriptor of what that audience is. So I'll say, email list dash big donors. Maybe this is the big donor list, right? And we're including that value. Maybe we say, these are small donors. We make 2 different lists. We can do that as well. So very easy to do. Click next, and Facebook will then go and match to the people that you have in your email list. It's private. Facebook doesn't use that information. They don't steal that information. Nothing happens. In fact, the other person who you have their email address of doesn't even know that you gave that to Facebook. And it's not giving to Facebook. It's allowing Facebook to see it so they can match to a profile on Facebook. It's totally secure and totally safe. So that's great. So that is how you create a custom audience. I'm trying to get out of here. Oops, I gotta move my camera. There we go. Oh, let me out. Okay. So once here, you'll be able to create that audience just like we talked about before. But now we're gonna go back because we don't really need that audience at this point. So I'm gonna go back to the existing campaign. Let's see if I can get out of here. Switch to quick creation real quick. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm back at the campaign here, and I have the nonprofit audience that I've created, or the ad set again. That's just the segmentation of the demographics that you want to use to target the right people. So we're going to click on that, and we will show you the actual event. Some of you may have seen this because some of you registered via this ad. Some of you may have not seen it. And, I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to look preview. And then I'm going to show you Facebook desktop news feed. Ugh, it's a bunch of gross stuff. So as I scroll through my Facebook page, you'll see that this is what the ad looks like. Nonprofits convert your in-person event. Don't cancel. Here's what we're doing, yada, yada, yada. Here's what we do, and this is very personal by me. The amazing thing about this is it's not something that has to be completely brand new, right? Like you can take what I've written here, you can apply it to what you want to do and just customize it. Use the same approach, take a very personal approach and say, hey, here's what we've done. Here's what we've learned. Let me share with you what we've learned and how it works for us. It doesn't have to be, in-depth, crazy, thought through, spend hours on. Do what you know. You have the information inside of you. You have that. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what you do. This is exactly what we did for our nonprofit client. We showed them very similar language that said, join us for this event. Here's what we're going to tell you. We're going to talk to you about the impact we've made. We're going to talk to you about what we've done. We're going to talk to you about what our goals are for the future. You see, all of this information really is in this text right here below. We're going to tell you the date, the time, and the information about when it is. And we're going to use a very simple image to stop you and to have you see exactly what the information is. So if you're scrolling through Facebook and you see researchers create novel class of living machine robotics, and you scroll through and you see, oh, there's a little baby outside. The neighbors are walking. And as you scroll through, you're not going to see this text, right? Because that was shrunk down before. you're going to see just this image pretty much. And you're going to go, nonprofits, oh, that's me. I'm a nonprofit. Convert, don't cancel. The online event that generated 100,000 in donations. It's a simple process for you to be able to see that, engage with it, and use that as the ability to stop someone in their tracks to go back up and see more information about this. So with the nonprofit that we created this for, it was very similar to this. So I'm going to show you a tool that we use that Laura Becca has touched on that can show you exactly how to create this very simply. So what I did when I created this Facebook ad is I Googled Facebook. I went to Canva and I looked up Facebook ad. Now, there are different sizes of Facebook ad. You can see square, you can see this size, which is a little landscape. You can see all sorts of different sizes. But I'm going to go to, I think what I did was Facebook posts. Let's see if that pulls it up. There we go. So now you have a bunch of different square size posts that you can pull from and you can use right off the bat. I found one that made sense for me and I used the template and I changed it up. It was kind of similar to this one, but I used that and I changed it up. So I'm going to go back to my design that you saw there, right here. See, this is something that I did in the past, and I actually took that same thing that I had used in the past and created a different headline, created a different subheadline, and just moved things around a bit. I'll put my logo at the bottom, and I just switched it around just a tiny little bit. It took me maybe 20 minutes to do this. Max, I mean, someone who's never done this before, I bet it wouldn't take more than 30 minutes. You could do this very easily with Canva and create that ad. You simply download that ad right up here. And once you're done downloading it, you can upload that into Facebook. We're going to talk about that here right now. So you can see we've gotten 24 shares on this post, 451 clicks. And out of that, hundreds of you have registered for this event. So if we're going to create an ad just like this, it's very simple to do. We're going to go ahead and go to the guided creation here. And we're going to say, convert, don't cancel. And that'll be the name of our ad. Another name of your ad, you might want to do a personal video. Maybe you do a video of yourself just saying, hey, please join us for our webinar. Here's what we're going to talk about. Here's the event that we're going to do. Here's the nonprofit that we have. Please join us. And you're going to scroll through and you're going to click the page. I don't know why it used that. It should use donor curve. Oh, we don't have one. So we're just going to use the selected page. Perfect. And we're going to scroll through. This is where we would put the copy for that text. So if we're going to go up here to this ad over here, we can say, let's just copy that. And we're going to put it right in here. Boom. Then we're going to go down here. We're going to select the image at the top. We're going to upload that image right here, very easily to do. And you're going to select the image that you want to select. Great. So now I'm going to go to the one that's already pre-done for us so we can take a look at that. And you'll see the settings are the same, right? Donor curve is the page that we're using. Convert, don't cancel is what I've selected. I'm going to create an ad. I'm going to do a single image ad or video. Very simple to do. Not trying to make this complex. We don't want this to be complex. We want it to be easy for all of us to be able to do. You're going to add the image that you want to add. It will give you recommendations. I like using a square image because a square image works best on multiple different platforms. If you're on your phone, it fills up a good portion of your screen. If you're on your desktop, it fills up a good portion of that screen. If you use different sized images, like the kind of the landscape version, it doesn't quite fill up, in my opinion, as well on mobile. And so I have the best success with a square version of it. So good key to success there. And then you put your ad copy. It doesn't have to be this long. It can be a lot shorter. I just decided to take a personal approach that has seemed to work well for me and my organizations that I run, and to talk a little bit about that ad itself. Going to go ahead and put a headline. This headline is what you see down here in this example, the preview. register for free webinar. Now that's important because we don't want people to think this is a paid ticketed event. It's free. Please sign up for our webinar. We want to share with you information about what we're doing. Here, you wouldn't say $100,000 raised. You might say how our nonprofit has impacted lives in Haiti, how our nonprofit has saved 10,000 families from poverty. Whatever that looks like, but a short caption of what that is. And the same on the event itself, the image itself. Then you're going to link. You're going to link to the page that you are using to generate those registrations. Now, this might be a link to the Facebook event page that Laura Becca talked to you about. This could be a link to a page like this where you're getting people to download a case study maybe, or give us their email address to sign up for our newsletter and to find out more information about us, or potentially to even donate is where you're going to have that kind of information here. And so that'll be all there. There is a document that we're going to send to you that's actually going to show you exactly what this landing page looks like. I might even try to, put that on the screen here in a second if I can. But that'll be able to show you exactly what that looks like and how we did it for this other client. So you'll see it. But in general, this is the place where you're going to put the video. This is where you're going to put the video, probably somewhere around this portion of the website, right in the front. And this is a landing page, just a very basic page that we use a tool called Unbounce to build. Great. You're going to put a learn more call to action. That's generally a kind of a good one. But if you have someone that's better, you might want to try sign up. You might want to try not subscribe so much, but there might be one, contact us, potentially. But you do want to have a call to action there. I would usually use learn more. Great. So now you've created a Facebook ad campaign. You've created an ad. Now you got to go back in before you're done. And we've talked about this for a second, but you got to go back in and make sure that the targeting demographics are correct. You don't want people in here that are 18, probably. My guess would be they're not going to be the ones who support your organization financially. They may be active, they may be engaged, but they may not be supporting financially. We want people who are able to support us financially. So we move the age range up to maybe 25 or 35, depending upon your nonprofit. Keep in mind that I would say 30 on the low side is probably good for what you're doing. For many of the people that I'm targeting for this event, you might be younger creating or managing fundraising campaigns. And so I wanted to target a little bit younger demographic here. And then you're going to go through and you're going to look for things that make sense for you. So for example, I've been giving, one of our nonprofits that we work for is an organization that works for folks in Haiti. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do, let's look at World Hunger Relief. Okay, not a huge size. You can see this size over here, 1,700 people. But that's a good idea. Now, it's going to give me more suggestions based on what that is. So now I got Feed the Hungry, Children in Need. I might go with Feed the Hungry. I might go with Children in Need. I'm going to get some of these topics that make sense for us. And we're going to target those people. I'm removing them from this campaign because that's not what we're here to do. But you'll add things that make sense for your organization. You may even say, you know what? I know that the people who come to my organization and actually donate and support it are of a certain level of income. You can go into demographics, and you can go into financial, and you can see income levels. And you can say, hey, I want to target people who are in the top 10% of a certain area or a state. Very cool to be able to target the exact locations that you want to see. So a lot of really great information. Some of it you're not going to know what to do about. Placements, for example. Someone like me will come in here and we will target the best placements that have had the most success for us or that have had the most success in the experience that we've had. Optimization and delivery. We might change some of those things to get a little bit better results, but those are things that you don't know about. So leave them as is. Facebook generally gives you a good setup of those campaigns right now. So that's a little bit about how do you create those pages and what you do there. Now I'm going to talk to you about Unbounce as a tool and how that works. And then finally, I'm going to talk to you about why sponsors like us so much. So We're going to go to unbounce.com real quick. We're going to log in and let me show you exactly what this looks like. So this is a landing page builder, and a landing page is basically a simple version of your website that is easy and straightforward to build and generates great results. So here is the online event watch party that you're probably looking at right now. And here is how we edit and build out those landing pages. So I'm going to show you exactly. So here's the video right in here, as you know, and it looks very similar to the registration page. No reason to reinvent the wheel there, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. So we're going to go to pages, and we're going to go, we're going to create new. And now is where we can actually pick a template that we have. These are very simple templates. You might want to look through these because there's not really any that you can look through that are exactly for events. I mean, you can see some, but they don't really give you a great format for how to build a webinar page, just like we've built. And so you're going to go through and you're going to probably click all, and you're going to start scrolling through and saying, you know what, this one might be a good one because I can put information up here about my nonprofit. I can put a little video in the background, and I can say, hey, to get access to our event, put your email address in here. It's a great thing to do, right? You're trying to generate buzz and get email addresses. You might look at this one and say, well, you know what? This one's good. I can customize this form. I can change this text here, and I can add a little information about our organization with pictures right here with our location, maybe a little videos, and lots of. Okay, so this is a great one. So we can select this template, and we're going to name it Let's see, web online event. I guess that's redundant, isn't it? Online event registrations. We're going to start that template. And again, a lot of this is going to be given to you. So at the end of this, you'll see how to do this, but I'm trying to walk you through the basics of the tools so you can get a little more comfortable with it and know that this is something that you can actually do yourself. So the tool pulls in just like this. Literally, the landing page is good to go. If I wanted to publish it, I could publish this page, and it would show this information on a URL that Unbounce provides for us very easily that I could use right away. But I don't want to do that. I want to change some of this text. So we're going to say, join us for our annual Gala converted online, right? Doesn't have to be crazy. We're going to put our logo right here, right? So we can come through and we can, I don't know if I have my logo in. Well, that should be in here somewhere, but I can't seem to find it. We're going to put our logo right there. And that's not my logo, it's another client's, but we're going to put our logo right there. And we're going to put a lot of information down here about who we are, and what we're doing. It's literally as easy as just filling these sections with new text, right? This is a great place to put a customer testimonial, someone that you've helped, or maybe a big donor who's been able to see the impact that you made and is grateful. A lot of opportunities for you. It's going to give you a mobile version of this, and it's going to show you what that looks like. These things are drag and drop, right? So, it shows you how to do it and where to put it so that it looks good. Done. It's centered. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time on doing these things. It wants to do it for you. And that's important. We save that event. We go over here. Now we can duplicate it and put the video on top of that same spot. So you'll see the event page that I created was very similar. The event page where you register versus the event page where you watch. It's just a duplication of that same page with a couple things moved so that I can put the video on that same thing. So that's exactly what you'll do. Not crazy rocket science. Again, we will have this for you to show you exactly how to do this down the road. But the next thing I want to talk to you about is why this makes sense if you are a nonprofit. So I'm going to show you the event that we created for our client. Let's see if I can find the one it is. Here it is. Nope, that's not the right one. Here it is. Yeah. So you'll see that on this event page alone, we had 3,141 visitors, 4,422 views. So the people who came quickly and viewed and left quickly. And then we had 153 people sign up for our email, and we had even more donors and donations from that. So a lot of great results. So why do sponsors love this? Sponsors love us because more people saw us than ever before. This is just on this one landing page. If I added in the Facebook views, which last time I checked were several days ago, were over 2,500, and if I added in the YouTube views, about another 1,000, now we're up to almost probably closer to 10,000 views of this event. No sponsor has ever had that many views from any event that this nonprofit has ever run before. This is brand new to them and something that is definitely going to impact and change the way this organization runs. Very exciting to be able to see that. So sponsors are going to do this because they know that they're going to be able to get more eyes in front of them. And that's a win-win. It's a win-win for you, and it's a win-win for them. Now, whenever someone can have this as an opportunity, it's great, right? And whenever someone can get a win-win like this for your organization and for them, it's great. And I'm very excited to be able to share that and how that works with you. So that is a little bit about how do you create a Facebook ad? How do you use a tool to make that for you? How do you use a tool like Unbounce? I didn't want to dive too much into the weeds on all this because this would take us a long time. We could spend a lot of time on this. If you have a person internally that can work on some of these things for you, trust me, if they're an intern or a younger person who can do this, they will do it for you very well. If not, you can do this very well. You can learn this. These tools are designed to be simple and straightforward, and we've picked them specifically to show you exactly how to do this easily and efficiently. Great. We've also shown you how to use sponsors and not how to use sponsors, but how sponsors will appreciate and why they'll appreciate this more than anything else. So excited to share this information with you. And we're going to dive into a little bit more here in just a second. So I'm going to transition and give me 1 second and we'll go from there. Thanks.
All right, guys. Kyle was not able to join us due to some live stream issues. These things happen, and so I'm going to jump in and talk a little bit about the tools that we use to create this and why. And of course, this will also be listed in the digital downloads that you get that we've talked about throughout this live stream. So one of the tools that we use is called Boxcast. Now, Boxcast is basically a live streaming service that allows you to live stream and connect in to Facebook, to YouTube, and to your own landing page very easily. So you can either pre-record your videos ahead of time and upload those as a live video on Facebook and YouTube as a premiere or a watch party on Facebook. And you can set up that date, and that way, if you have someone maybe who's in another state that you need to record ahead of time, you can record that and then add that to your live stream as you go. So Boxcast is a great tool to be able to use and get that going for you. It's very simple. It's relatively straightforward. There's also other tools. Facebook has another tool. It's actually not Facebook. It's a tool by Vimeo. Vimeo allows you to do the same thing. You can stream to Vimeo. You can stream to Facebook. You can stream to YouTube all at the same time from that tool as well. And I think that tool is about $60 a month. So relatively inexpensive for all of your needs and what you're going to be doing that. Don't want to do that? You don't have to. You can literally live stream directly with Facebook or with YouTube, and you can schedule those out ahead of time as well. So again, if you want to record this ahead of time and live stream it on a certain time, you can do that as well. That enables you to avoid any buffering issues that you might have. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on if you want to risk it or not. That's some of the tools that we use. Unbounce. We've talked about Unbounce before. That will be also linked in the documentation, the digital downloads that you get. And if you decide to make that purchase for the Unbounce account, you'll be able to use that very easily to be able to build the landing page that you want. It's very simple. It's drag and drop. And if you don't have the experience, maybe someone in your organization, an intern or even a web developer, someone that you've used before would know how to do that very easily. It doesn't take web development skills. It's dragging and dropping of a template. So, and I talk about that in the video later on that I'm going to do the live stream on for you. So you'll be able to see that here shortly. Another tool that we use is Facebook. We use Facebook event page, like Laura Becca talked about. We use emails. So if you have a different email provider, maybe it's MailChimp, maybe it's Constant Contact, maybe you use Network for Good to do your email delivery and your landing page building. You can build a landing page in Network for Good. You might not need Unbounce. You can also build your emails in Network for Good and send those out there as well, or in MailChimp, or in Constant Contact, or in so many other different platforms. Like, for example, I use Infusionsoft to send mine out. And that's another kind of a CRM email platform for marketers and folks out there who want to use a CRM. A lot of great tools out there for you. Trying to think if there's any other tools that we have used that you might want to. Oh, Canva. Canva is another one that you want to know about, and we can ask and answer any questions that you might have on this. Again, sorry that Kyle was not able to join us. Sometimes that happens, and when that happens, you just got to pivot. You just got to go, okay, here's what's going to happen. We're going to talk to you about it. I don't know as much about it as that, but I do know that the process can be done by you. It doesn't have to be done by an IT guy. This is something that can be done very simply and very straightforward. I can do it. You can do it. Trust me, it's not too difficult. So this will be the shortest of the live streams, but hopefully this is good and helpful for you. And we'll talk more about it in a little bit. And but I also want to offer this to you. If you want us to send templates that you can edit, that are documents that you can edit, download a landing page and upload it into Unbounce, that you can literally just customize yourself, the one that we used. I am going to give that to you if you'd like. And I have that in the package. That's going to include the emails, that's going to the landing page, everything that we just talked about. But in one, I'm giving you screenshots that you can kind of model after. You're going to have to rebuild. That's for free. And I think that's of great value because literally, if you have the right team, you can take this and implement it yourself. If you don't, or if you want a little bit more detailed version, we will send you the editable version of those documents. And that is for a one-time fee of $500. Again, this is the landing page. This is the emails. This is the thing that generated $100,000 in donations. If you can't spend $500 for this, I totally understand. Please take the free example documents and model after it. Go for it. If you want to use this, I think this is of a huge value to you. I would say if I were to rebuild this for a client, customized in this way, it would cost me internally as my marketing team, probably about $3,000 to build this out. Now, because I have the experience that I do and because I have the team that I do, I've been able to build it out for another client and show you exactly how to do this. That means between me and the other client, we were able to pay for your training on this for free. If you want to spend $500 on it, you're welcome to, and I think it's a good idea. Again, that's putting it in your hands. Now, if you say, hey, Preston, this has been great information, but a lot of it is very complex. A lot of it is tough. A lot of it is something that I don't even want to mess with. A lot of it is something I could mess with, but if I didn't have to, I would rather not. I would rather not spend the time and energy right now as we're dealing with being home and away from our normal computers and desktops and offices and everything else. If you would like my team and I to come in virtually and work with you and build this out in a very customized way, but also based on the template and the plan that we've talked about here, I'd be happy to do that for you. And I'm doing a very low rate at this point. Again, it would cost me about $3,000 to do this. Generally, I would charge $5,000 for this type of a campaign, but I want to offer you a low price. This is a time when we should be sharing things for you with each other, which we've already done. I think that was a lot of value. I hope it was. I hope you're impressed and grateful. And I don't even need you to be grateful, but I just hope you enjoyed it. but I also want to give you this package for $2,750. So $2,750. We will come in. We will customize all of these things for you. We will write special 7 emails for you. We will create a landing page just for you. We will create all of the ads and the Facebook event and everything else. It's a huge value to you, and we'll be able to do that for you for $2,750. Again, I don't know if you might not understand how much this is, so I'm going to break it down a little bit easier. A landing page generally will cost about $1,000 to build and develop. An email series like this, generally $250 per email on the low side. Ads management and creation of ads. You're talking about $75 to $100 an hour just to create those campaigns for you and build out the advertisements. These are going to be things that we do for you. And so much more that goes along with this. The documents, the templates for how to respond and how to get your team to respond to these people is huge. So that's available to you. Now, we've gone over 2 different packages. Those are very, very valuable, I think, and I think I've made these very effective for you. There's also a custom package. If you want us to come and build out something completely different, maybe you have a golf tournament, maybe you have an event that you don't know how to do this with. Doesn't quite apply, but you want to try this. We will come in and we will do whatever is necessary to figure out how to build this out for you. That's going to be customized pricing based on what you need and what you need us to do. It may be all you want us to do is create the Facebook page. Well, or event. If that's the case, it's not going to cost very much. If you want us to come in and you want us to just write the emails, maybe you're not a copywriter, you're a designer, right? Or you're an administrator and you just don't want to do the Facebook ad side of things. Do you want us to create those ads? You can just we'd just charge you for that. We could just do that separately, kind of standalone, a la carte. If you want us to, manage the comments for you while your live stream is going, or handle the IT of the live stream and the setting up of all that, the recording of the videos, the playing those videos, or the playing of the live stream, we can do that for you as well. So lots of different options for you. I don't want you to feel like you're locked into either of those. You are going to get all of the resources that we've talked about, tons of value. You're also going to have the opportunity to buy this right now. If you buy it right now, you're going to get it at the discounted rate. If you're not able to buy now or in the next few days, go ahead and register and we'll talk about it and we can figure out something for you. There are a lot of options that together we can figure out. So give me a call, send me an email, send me a comment right now. I'd love to be able to help sign you up for these things, and it doesn't have to be super complicated. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time today. I appreciate everything that you've done. We'll go back into question and answer time right now, and we'll answer any other questions that you have until the end of the live stream. And we appreciate what you have done, and we appreciate the impact that you're making with the nonprofit that you're running. We know the struggle. I've worked with a lot of nonprofits who have told me, hey, I don't have any money. Like, why can I afford you to run my Facebook ads? I barely have enough money to pay the bills and do what the good work we're doing. And I would never want to work with a nonprofit that I thought would not be able to value from the work that we're giving. The nonprofits that I work with are able to generate net positive return on their Facebook ads, on their events, on a lot of the things that they've done. And I've got customer testimonials and comments and things to prove that. But I want this to be something that you believe in and that you want to do. So I hope it is. I hope you're able to try it. Thank you so much. We'll answer more questions now.